Hello and welcome to one of the first videos that I have ever created for YouTube. Now, I am currently playing Fallout 4 and this is my take on the Taffington Boathouse area. The inspiration behind this video is I watched my father play Fallout 4 and, well, obviously he's missed the whole point of the game, which is making your settlements look badass. He tends to just leave a load of turrets on the floor and then just ignore the actual settlements and go off and do these crazy things called missions. But anywho, here's a little guided tour. So, I was going for a bit of a youth hostel feel to my entire settlement, but I'll just give you a quick tour of the outside first. As you can see, I've got lots and lots of turrets set up for a bit of defence on some nice little balconies all around the outside. If we come over here, we can see the Brahmin fees trough. This is here because I hate having these things wandering around inside. And well, I'm going for a bit of a youth hostel kind of backpacky holiday kind of feel to the area, and I figured that the residents wouldn't really want a load of livestock wandering around just being in the way. So if we look over here, you can see again we've got more turrets all along the outside. We've got a little shack that's supported by one wall because, well, I'm not really necessarily happy with how this looks, but apparently in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, buildings can actually defy the laws of physics, so it's moving swiftly on. If we look around the view of the lake, you can see that I've built a nice little pier for everybody to wander along, but we'll get more into that later on. So let's just venture inside. For the majority of my settlements, when I get them set up, I operate with a one way in, one way out kind of policy, just because it makes it a bit easier to defend them and various other things. So, going inside, you are greeted by a weapons and an armour shop as you go in, and it's all very nicely lit up. I haven't actually made much use of the boathouse here, mainly because I couldn't actually get the floors to work in there properly with all the water. Now, onto a small annoyance. This is a dead Brahmin that was here when I first liberated this settlement from a load of ghouls. I can't move the body because it's too heavy, and I can't actually build over it either, so it's kind of not really looking as nice as I'd have liked it to along here. I would have liked to have had some nice floors all set up to keep in with the overall look and feel of the place, but hey ho, what can you do? So if we just go here to the little bit of farmland, I tend to make my settlements to be vegetable starch factories. So we have planting of wheat fruits, tomatoes, things, or whatever they're called, razor grain and corn, and with them I can make lots of vegetable starch, which is a good source of adhesive for when I'm upgrading weapons. So first off, we'll go and have a look inside the actual main house. So I've set it up as a bit of a recreation area for all the various residents who are here holidaying. I've tried to make it look pretty. We've got lots of radios set up, and as you can see, well, they keep dropping things because they're not exactly messy. I can only assume many drunken shenanigans, but hey ho, I'll fix that later. We have a pool table for them to play on, and we have a kitchen where the standard fare seems to be things like noodles and everything else because, well, it's self-catering, but I'm assuming these are a bunch of 18 to 30s and cooking isn't really one of their strong suits. In here we have lots of dirty dishes in the sink because obviously they're all lazy and don't really get the idea behind self-catering. Let's just go upstairs. We've set up some little dormitories. We're not too bothered about them all being in one place because, well, they're just here temporarily is the idea. They've got the little storage boxes and foot lockers. We're not really too bothered about privacy in here, so we just basically loaded in all the beds and couldn't figure out how to get a door on here, so we have a radio to drown out any of the noise from the bathroom. Ignore the dead body in there, obviously she's just partied too hard. Again, another issue of not being able to get rid of dead bodies in these areas. So, going outside. Here's the entrance to the shops, and you can see they've got their own little beds because really they work hard for a living. They don't need to actually leave this building. In here, crafting stations and a nice little metal box to put any bits and bobs into there. Also set up a nice little clinic in the area because, well, they're on some kind of like holiday jaunt and they're probably going to injure themselves at some point. So if we just look in here, got a couple little emergency beds set up and a little counter in there as well. Tried to add a bit of greenery to cheer the whole place up. got a nice little seating area with like all the cigarettes and the ashtrays, and then the drinks and everything else, and they have a nice little radstag to look at on the wall as well. Not sure what, well, there's not really anything I can do about the bits that are growing inside the houses. It's a bit annoying, but the residents are lazy, so they won't clean it up themselves. Here we have the bar area, because obviously they're all on holiday, so they all want to get absolutely hammered. So we have a nice little supply of whiskey and bourbon and vodka for them, and pint glass, a few beer bottles lying around, because again, holiday people, lazy, won't clean up after themselves. So here I was going for a nice little lake view walkway, you know, just trying to get a nice little lakeside holiday thing going on, but I think I've basically ended up with a more hygienic version of Magaluf or something. But hey ho, what can we do? This is a post-apocalyptic wasteland, so you can't have everything. Again, they're all sitting out here just drinking Coke and eating iguana on sticks. They've got the nice little barbecue area set up in a little ice box. And over here we've got a little place for people to just get away from it all and indulge in a bit of fishing. So let's go and have a quick wander up the stairs and just see what we've got going on up here. So the first floor is mainly for all the defences, so we've got some little guard posts set up. I haven't put these on an upper floor because the settlers seem to have pathing issues occasionally if you try to build in too many stairways and whatnot. So along here we just have a load of turrets, set up some lighting so that in the dark we can see where we're going. If we look over here, we've got a nice little roof area. Again, these wires, nothing to do with me, I can't get rid of them. It's frustrating because I try to keep my wiring out of sight and out of mind, but again, can't really have everything. So let's just go and have a quick wander at the little guardhouse that we've got set up here. So there is two entryways into this. We've got another one that's just out here, and that'll lead you down to there. So I tried to set up some nice little greenery and pictures just so it all looks a bit less dingy and grubby. Okay, we set up radios just to try and hide the sound of all the turrets that are running underneath. And if you're wondering where I've picked up half of this ornamentation for like the vases and stuff like that, I went to the Cobot Manor and basically stole everything from there, because they've got a nice fully functioning pool table, lots of pretty vases and cutlery and things like that. And again, we have a nice little bathroom set up for them. So, like I said, this is my take on the Taffington Boathouse settlement. Father, if you're watching this, this is how it's done. Make a bit of effort, yeah. And anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye.